que ça sent. Oh, que ça sent bien. Ça sent bien. On sent bien. Vous êtes pas prêts. Je m'en viens. Hey, salut tout le monde, bienvenue dans les Reaction Time de On s'en craque une. Ouais, quel m'a fait convaincre ça. Ah, c'est un peu moins pire. Fait que comment est-ce que ça va la gang en ce beau lundi, début de semaine? Je me suis dit, pourquoi pas, j'irais pas voir si on n'a pas des fans qui auraient le goût de se changer les idées à soir. Fait que, de ma petite initiative, j'étais allé vous sélectionner quelques vidéos. On touche un peu tout. On touche à la politique, on touche au divertissement, on touche aux théories du complot et à l'histoire, puis on finit ça en musique. On commence en musique. Je pense qu'on va commencer avec le bout de... Je dirais pas le bout de plate, mais le bout peut-être un peu plus sérieux pendant que j'ai tout mon cerveau puis que ça va bien. Donc on va aller voir. On va aller voir le vidéo de Mistersunshine qui nous donne des nouvelles politiques. Un gars qui est très adouette, on va se le dire. C'est-tu parfait? Non, il y a des opinions auxquelles je n'adhère pas nécessairement, mais règle générale, il y a quand même des idées qui sont intéressantes, il y a quand même des sujets qui viennent me chercher un peu. Fait j'aime bien ça de temps en temps, aller réagir à ces vidéos. Je l'ai fait la dernière fois, puis il nous parle un peu de ce qui se passe au jour le jour dans la politique canadienne. Sans plus tarder, mesdames et messieurs, on va arrêter la belle petite musique de background, puis on va aller écouter la vidéo de Mistersunshine, et il est titré Freeland topples Trudeau's government right before Christmas. Freeland renverse le gouvernement Trudeau juste avant les fêtes. Ok, tous les titres sont exagérés, c'est du clickbait. Fait qu'on va aller écouter qu'est-ce qu'il nous dit vraiment Monsieur Sunshine aujourd'hui.
Alrighty, folks. Well, the day is finally here. Chrystia Freeland has resigned. Last night, we got word that Sean Fraser resigned, and he did. And now today, no shit, Chrystia freaking Freeland resigned.
Fait que ça fait 2 MP en 2 jours qui disparaissent de la map. 2 en 2. Faut le faire. Deux libéraux qui quittent le bateau juste avant les fêtes, juste avant les prochaines élections. C'est louche. Pour moi, ça va pas bien dans la patente.
Resigned and did this to Justin Trudeau. Now, bear with me. If I look like I just woke up, that's because I did. But we're going to get through this in a new modern way of the news where we're not going to judge people for waking up because we don't wear suits and ties here. We just go by the seam of our pants. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I want to encourage you all to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It does really help grow the channel. And without further ado, let's take a freaking look. It's an early Christmas. And if you're feeling like this is too good to be true, this is clickbait, it does feel too good to be true. But it's 100% real. Chrystia Freeland is no longer wanting to be a Liberal MP. She's done. She's done with Trudeau because he's playing political games. Holy smoke. Christmas really came early. Here's my alarm to wake me up, by the way. Apple, so soothing. Let's get into this video, shall we? Oh my God, they're hiding the fall economic statement from journalists. The PMO is in full damage control mode. He knows his government is imploding and his days are counted. I'm in the locked up for the fall economic statement, and they just made an announcement that the 10 a.m. embargo period has been delayed for an undetermined amount of time. Lots of reporters just bailed, and the room is pretty empty. Yep, they are going to stall this as long as they possibly can. Then you got right here. Report, Chrystia Freeland slams Trudeau in her cabinet resignation letter suggesting his government is focusing on costly political gimmicks which he can ill afford and not working in good faith to stop Trump's 25% tariff threats. Here is the letter. Dear Prime Minister, it has been the honor of my life to serve in government, working with Canada and Canadians. We have accomplished a lot together. On Friday, you told me you no longer want me to serve as your finance minister and offered me another position in the cabinet. Upon reflection, I have concluded that the only honest and viable path is for me to resign from the cabinet. To be effective, a minister must speak on behalf of the Prime Minister with his full confidence. In making your decision, you made clear that I no longer credibly enjoy that confidence and possess the authority to come with it. For the past number of weeks, you and I have found ourselves at odds about the best path forward for Canada. Our country today faces a grave challenge. The incoming administration in the United States is pursuing a policy of aggressive economic nationalism, including a threat of 25% tariffs. We need to take that threat extremely seriously. That means keeping our fiscal powder dry today so that we have the reserves we may need for a coming tariff war. That means ensuring costly political gimmicks, which we can ill afford and make Canadians doubt that we recognize the gravity of the moment. This means pushing back against America First economic nationalism with a determined effort to fight for capital and investment.
Fait qu'en gros, le sens de sa lettre, Chrystia Freeland, c'est rien que de dire moi je lâche à cause que politiquement on est en train de mal se placer par rapport à Trump, par rapport à ce qui nous attend avec les Américains dans les prochains mois, par rapport à tout ça. Moi, je lâche le bateau. La ministre de l'Économie n'a plus foi en Justin Trudeau ni en ses capacités présentement. C'est ça qui se passe. Il a perdu la confiance de son propre parti, dans le fond. Et là, sa ministre de l'Économie... La pancarte en avant, parce qu'on s'entend que pas vraiment elle qui était responsable de grand-chose dans Patente, hein? Mais on continue d'écouter.
And the jobs they bring. That means working in good faith and humility with the premiers of the provinces and territories for our great and diverse country and building a true Team Canada response. I know Canadians would recognize and respect such an approach. They know when we are working for them, and they equally know when we are focused on ourselves. Inevitably, our time in government will come to an end. But how we deal with the threat our country currently faces will define us for a generation, and perhaps longer. Canada will win if we are strong, smart, and united. It is this conviction which has driven my strenuous efforts this fall to manage our spending in ways that will give us the flexibility we will need to meet the serious challenges presented by the United States. I will always be grateful for the chance to have served in government, and will always be proud of our government's work for Canada and Canadians.
D'après moi, elle n'aura pas respecté son budget, en fait son déficit budgétaire qu'elle s'était fixé, parce que si on se souvient, elle avait dit qu'elle ne dépasserait pas le 60 milliards. Je pense que j'ai exagéré ça à la base. Oh, c'est mieux. Fait que, ouais, c'est ça, elle n'était pas supposée dépasser de 40 milliards de déficit pendant l'année fiscale. Est-ce qu'elle va avoir atteint son but? Est-ce qu'elle va avoir réussi, dans le fond, à respecter son budget puis à pas dépenser plus qu'il faut? Je pense que c'est un bout de l'histoire qu'on n'a pas, ça. Pas encore, en tout cas. Ils n'ont toujours pas déposé le rapport économique pour la période d'automne.
I look forward to continuing to work with my colleagues as a Liberal Member of Parliament, and I am committed to running again for my seat in Toronto in the next federal election. So she plans on continuing, with gratitude, Mr. Speaker. She plans on continuing to run as a Liberal. She just wants nothing to do with Justin Trudeau. But wait, there's more. there's more. Sean Fraser dropped like a fly yesterday. Chrystia Freeland, of all people, today. And then there's rumor that there are 2 more ministers set to resign today. Unclear who they are at the moment. Speculation that it'll be Champagne and Guilbeault. And as you can see, Anita Anand is almost in tears when she's approached by reporters.
Chrystia Freeland is a good friend, someone I work with very, very closely as president of the Treasury Board and Minister of Transport. This news has hit me really hard, and I'll reserve further comment until I have time to process it.
The House of Cards is tumbling, and Chrystia Freeland, I think, is the cherry on top. She was Justin Trudeau's most trusted, loyal supporter, and the fact that she resigned, not through a press conference, but through a letter on early Monday.
Pas tout à fait sûr que c'était l'homme de confiance à Justin Trudeau.
Pretty much a couple of days before we take a break for the Christmas holidays, when she's supposed to table the fall economic statement, speaks volume. This is the largest political announcement that we have seen ever, at least in recent history. You know, in the next following this would be Justin Trudeau's resignation. But holy smokes, totes and goats. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later on for more updates. Bye for now.
C'était son dernier vidéo qu'il a posté il y a 7 heures. Je vois pas grand chose de vraiment plus intéressant à vous garrocher vite de même. Fait qu'on va passer aux vidéos de Brandon Herrera. Mais avant ça, il faut qu'on se dise, j'aime bien son contenu, règle générale, à lui. Il y a un angle quand même particulier. C'est sûr qu'il est très très à droite, fait que ça vient me rejoindre pas mal, c'est sûr. Gros supporter de Poilievre. Si vous écoutez ses vidéos, vous allez tout le temps voir Poilievre dominer l'Assemblée, rarement se faire ramasser. Mais si on va se dire que Poilievre en chambre, il est solide. Fait que là, ce qu'on est en train d'observer comme phénomène du côté libéral, c'est les rats qui sont en bas du bateau. Parce que si tu regardes les sondages, puis tu regardes tout, si ces gens-là veulent rester en poste l'année prochaine, ils feront pas ça avec les libéraux. C'est à peu près sûr. Ils sont très loin dans les sondages. Les libéraux, ils vont avoir probablement se ramasser 2e ou 3e opposition, une affaire de même. Fait que je suis même pas sûr que ça va être l'opposition officielle. Je pense que statistiquement, il y a des chances que le Bloc ait autant, si c'est pas plus, de députés que les libéraux aux prochaines élections. C'est un petit peu n'importe quoi. C'est vraiment un petit peu beaucoup, pas mal n'importe quoi. Fait que je vais vous mettre les liens des réactions de ce soir dans la description. Mistersunshine, son vidéo. Puis le prochain qu'on s'en va voir, c'est un créateur de contenu que j'adore. Un de mes podcasts favoris, moi, sur Internet, c'est The Unsubscribed Podcast. C'est un podcast que j'adore écouter. Les 4 gars qui lead ça, c'est 4 malades. Ils ont des channels qui sont très différents. Il y en a un dans la gang que je suis carrément pas parce que son contenu me rejoint comme pas. C'est pas de quoi que j'ai tendance à écouter. Light Double Tap. J'adore le podcast, j'adore le personnage. Le gars, c'est vraiment un malade. Mais son channel en tant que tel vient un petit peu moins me rejoindre si on veut. Vous me voyez en live en train de tout vous placer ça. C'est ça. Présentement dans la description, je vais vous avoir mis le lien de Mistersunshine pour aller regarder la vidéo. Laissez un like et un subscribe, puis on va plonger dans la vidéo de Brandon Herrera dans les prochaines secondes, qui s'appelle The Guns of Red Dead Redemption 2. Quand il fait... Brandon Herrera produit quand même une bonne variété de vidéos. Il est connu pour ses gun meme reviews. Côté plus humoristique de son channel, si on veut. C'est plus dans le but d'être comique, drôle et checker des memes stupides sur Internet qui impliquent des guns, puis en même temps faire un peu la promotion de la sécurité avec les armes à feu, puis la manipulation sécuritaire des armes quand t'es sur le range ou proche de tes chums, puis le genre de niaiserie qu'il faut pas que tu fasses. Donc, il sert un peu des stupidités qu'on voit sur Internet pour faire un petit peu d'éducation par rapport aux armes à feu. Et puis en même temps, rire un peu de l'actualité politique reliée aux armes à feu. Il est vraiment axé sur les armes à feu. Texas, ils sont forts là-dessus, ça a l'air. Mais bref, Gun Meme Reviews, des Darwin Awards, qui sont c'est ça, des vidéos short, des memes, des fails avec des gun fails dans le fond. C'est du monde qui pourrait être mort, il pourrait s'être blessé gravement. Puis, bref, il y en a qui sont chanceux d'être encore en vie, puis il y en a certains dans ces vidéos que on peut pas voir la scène au complet sur YouTube parce que ils terminent moins vivants qu'ils l'étaient au début. Fait que promotion de la sécurité avec les armes, puis en même temps, il y a quelques vidéos de reconstitution d'assassinats célèbres. Il a refait le tir de Lincoln, RFK Jr. Il y en a fait quand même plusieurs comme ça. Dont les deux tentatives d'assassinat. La première tentative d'assassinat sur Trump, quand il s'est fait clipper l'oreille, il a fait une reproduction de ça, je pense, genre là, dans la semaine d'après. C'est un malade là-dessus. Le timing était impeccable. Fait que, bref, on va aller écouter son vidéo plus dans sa série GunTube où il présente des armes à feu. Puis quand il est présent, vu que lui, c'est un fabricant, puis il a même terminé il n'y a pas tant longtemps un projet qui a duré, je pense, c'est 7 ou 8 ans, peut-être même plus. Il a décidé de faire prendre le principe d'un AK-47 puis de faire un AK calibre 50. Ouais. C'était plus facile à dire qu'à faire. Ça a pris du temps en salle. Mais le résultat final est quand même assez chill. Si vous voulez aller sur sa chaîne, vous avez juste à cliquer sur le lien qui est dans la description. Allez sur la vidéo, vous allez avoir accès à sa chaîne. Puis vous allez pouvoir vous promener là-dedans. Puis il y a carrément une série qui s'appelle AK-50, où ce qui vous donne un peu l'étape par étape de la construction. C'est quoi qui a été long de même. Puis vous allez voir la distance entre les vidéos. Des fois, c'est pas tout à fait égal parce qu'il se passe pas encore avec le gun pendant des mois. Genre le temps qu'ils réussissent à avoir des pièces. Fucking pain in the ass. Qu'à le dire. Fait que bref, on va aller écouter la vidéo.
There's a lot of classic Western guns used in the game Red Dead Redemption 2. Today on the Brandon Herrera YouTube channel, we're gonna take a look at some of the most memorable.
The many miles we walk, the many things we learn.
Je suis pas sûr que la toune est full légale, on va en baisser un peu avant que je me fasse claimer par YouTube.
Go all the way. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are doing a video that I've been excited for a long time. We are going to be going over the guns of Red Dead Redemption 2, and we have a lot of guns out here today for it. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a masterpiece of a game if you've never played it. I just got into it a couple months ago, and I've been wondering where the fuck this has been all my life. I'm a big fan of Westerns, I'm a big fan of Western guns, and I already had a lot of these guns in my collection. Some I picked up just for this video. That's what I'll tell the IRS. I wanted them. So we got a couple friends out here today with us. We got full cowboy vibes going on, and we're just gonna show you some of the guns from the game, Red Dead Redemption 2, and have some fun along the way. So let's get started.
Si vous êtes des fans de GunTube, vous allez rapidement reconnaître le Osectu.
So starting out, we've got the Cattleman Revolver, as it's called in the game, or as we have here, the Colt Single Action Armory in 40.
Il est au range de Matt Caretaker. C'est quoi son nom de YouTube déjà? Demolition Ranch. Il est au champ de tir de Demolition Ranch qui est sur le Desperado Ranch. Il a acheté un ranch abandonné puis il est en train de le rebâtir puis de l'ouvrir au public. Fait que vous pouvez aller vous réserver une chambre pour aller tirer du gun avec un YouTuber. Peut-être pas avec, là, mais dans le range d'un YouTuber.
5 Colt. You might be familiar with this gun if you are Alec Baldwin. You might not be familiar with this gun if you are the armorer for Alec Baldwin. To load this, we just pop this side gate here, and we load each round in individually. Close that up. And we are ready to go. I love how adding iPro to this, it instantly goes.
C'est pour ceux qui n'ont pas compris la référence de Alec Baldwin, il a par accident tué quelqu'un avec genre une arme à feu sur un tournage. Fait que, si vous êtes comme Alec Baldwin, vous allez connaître le gun, puis si vous êtes comme l'armurier d'Alec Baldwin, vous comprendrez rien au gun.
Goes from Red Dead to Yellowstone, and I'm not convinced that's an improvement. Anyway. Left ball. And we just pop this open, and the rounds, if they don't freely fall out, you got a little plunger here to push them out. Let's upgrade. Now, as you enter the new century, you have access to all sorts of cool new guns, one of those being the C96 Broom Handle Mauser. This is a really cool addition. I'm glad they added it to the game. I think it's kind of cool. Did you see a lot of these in the Old West? Absolutely not. I wouldn't think so. But timeline-wise, very much a possibility. So to load this one, we pull back on our charging handle or a bolt here. That opens it up. We actually have a stripper clip. This one is actually a Red 9, so it is chambered in 9mm and not the typical cartridge, Mauser cartridge. So we stick that in there and then just feed those rounds in, like so. See if I can hit anything. Nice. What is it with me shooting this guy in the left ball? And we are out, and it locks open when it's empty. So that is the Broom Handle Mauser. Behold, a felony. Just kidding. Sawed-off shotguns are actually, contrary to popular belief, legal to own as long as you have NFA paperwork. I would have included this under the shotguns, but it didn't feel right because in Red Dead, this is basically treated like a pistol anyway. In fact, you can dual wield them. But this one here is chambered in 20 gauge, which is way easier on the hands when it comes to shotgun recoil. Because with a sawn-off, this little lever has a tendency to want to fly back, split your hand. Really not a fun time. Now, one of the easiest ways to shoot these sawn-off shotguns, in my experience, without letting the recoil get out of hand, is actually overhand clamping it from the waist. But it's 20 gauge and I'm not bitch made, so one hand this bitch. Recoil's still pretty sharp. Go for the other barrel. Nailed it. Then we eject our shells. Now the cool part about this is because it has two triggers, you can actually technically fire both barrels at the same time. All right, let's try both barrels. Howdy, mister. Oh, these things are stupid. All right, maybe something a little bit more practical. Damn it, Trout, I said 1890s, not 1990s.
Il s'est pas manqué. Les deux barrels d'achat, ça l'a envoyé dans la main comme du monde. T'as vu que c'était pas très très agréable. Mais ouais, effectivement, ça a l'air qu'aux États-Unis, un sawn-off, si t'as les bons papiers puis que t'as la licence NFA, t'as le droit d'avoir ça. Who knows?
Oh, shit. Oh, there's going to be a lot of Balkan families upset with some of the things I did.
On va regarder une vidéo de lui. Il me semble que c'est la prochaine, justement. King Trout. Tout qu'un personnage.
So now, in my opinion, one of the better looking guns in the game, especially when it comes to pistols, is the main pistol of the gang leader, Dutch Vanderlyn, which is a Schofield, or in this case, a Smith & Wesson Model No. 3.
Brandon, I got a plan. You just gotta trust me. To Tahiti, Brandon. Follow me on this journey.
So this Smith & Wesson Model No. 3 is actually chambered in 44 Russian, which is a very obscure caliber. I'm glad they still make cowboy loads for it, so I was really worried we wouldn't be able to find ammo. This gun is really cool because it just breaks open, so I'm just loading it from the rear here, and then we're ready to go. It slams forward like so. So the gun is now hot, but if we were to unload it, or when we're done with it, it just breaches forward like that, and it actually pulls the rounds out, so you can just kind of dump it out the side. So I thought that was kind of cool. We are now loaded and ready to fire. This is actually my first time shooting this, and it's kind of cool because this is an antique. This is an original 1881 gun. It was refinished, but it is an original nonetheless. So hopefully it doesn't explode in my hands. Nice. Oh, that recoil impulse is very nice too. One more for good measure. All right, so now we unload it, and this is the cool part. Just dumps out all the rounds. I just think it's neat.
Tahiti, Brandon! Tahiti! Tahiti!
Quand je parlais de Unsub au début de Eli Double Tap, c'est lui. Un ancien. T'es-tu dans l'armée ou les Marines? Bref, un vétéran d'Irak et Afghanistan. Moi, je pense qu'il a fait les deux.
Brandon! Tahiti!
Now for the last pistol, we got something kind of special. This is a Lamat, or a Lamat, or a Lamaw, if you're gay.
Un Lemat.
This is actually a really, really cool weapon, and I've been wanting to do a video on this for a long time, and I'm really glad we get a chance to finally show it off. This is a 9-shot 44 revolver, and if that wasn't enough firepower for you, it has an under-barrel 20-gauge shotgun. It is the pistol equivalent of fuck you and
9 shots en partant, c'est des shots en crise. Puis en plus, tu couches là-dessus un 20 gauge dans le milieu. Ça va, man? Est-ce que ta mère t'a fait mal quand t'étais jeune? Ça va pas bien, man. Je suis désolé.
and the horse you rode in on. This is actually black powder, so compared to all the other guns that we've shot today, loading this is quite the feat, but you end up with 9 rounds of handgun ammunition and a round of shotgun for a sidearm. I've actually never shot one of these before, so this is a bit of a treat for me too. Hopefully this...
C'était pas des balles conventionnelles, fallait que c'était à pas de noir, là, tes charges de pack. C'était un peu un pain in the ass.
Doesn't chain fire. 3, 2, 1.
Ça, si vous avez entendu, in hope that it doesn't chain fire. Ça, c'est genre toutes les barils qui pop en même temps one shot parce que dans le fond, la pomme noire du barillet d'à côté allume en même temps. Ce qui était quelque chose qui arrivait relativement fréquemment avec ces armes-là.
And that is our 9 rounds, but we have a surprise musket tool that will help us later. So in order to activate our trap card, all we have to do is lower this right here. The hammer has a little switch on it. So you just toggle that downward, and now all of a sudden it is in line with the shotgun. So I'm gonna reset the hammer here, and now we have our underbarrel 20 gauge. According to the lore, this was actually often used. I made a joke about fuck you and the horse you rode in on. This was literally meant for cavalrymen to shoot out horses. So war as heck, I guess. Firing. Damn. That's kind of neat. Glad we could experience this together. Now to shotguns. This is the pump shotgun. Desgraciado! The model 1897, most commonly known as the trench gun. It's a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun, but it has a neat feature that most pump...
C'est une des raisons pour laquelle le Canada a inscrit une bonne partie de la Convention de Genève, c'est ce gun-là. Je sais pas si vous êtes au courant que la Convention de Genève, en général, elle a été créée à cause de nous autres, les Canadiens, parce qu'on était trop brutal pendant la Première Guerre mondiale. Now you know. Read about it. Read and weep. Read and weep.
Shotguns don't, and that's known as slam fire. Cody, it's your gun. Do you want to demonstrate that?
Hell yeah. It's one of my favorite features of this thing, dude. We good to go, Brandon?
Show them how it's done. Oh no!
Fucked up the first one, but we got it right.
It's all good. No, this is neat because this is one of the few guns you can actually just hold down the trigger and it will automatically go forward as soon as you load a new round. So you can slam fire it. So this is a real trench sweeper.
Weren't these conventions they didn't like that at?
Yeah, you know you're fucking winning when the same people who invented chemical warfare want to call foul on the shotgun. It turns their lungs to jelly, but the shotgun, that's too far. Oh my goodness. All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. This is my boot.
Puis oui, ça allait vraiment être une demande des Allemands après la Première Guerre mondiale de faire considérer le shotgun comme un crime de guerre. Ce qu'il devait avoir à peu près de plus primitif, dans le fond, sur le champ de bataille, où les Allemands voulaient faire en sorte que ce soit un crime de guerre. Ça n'a pas marché, by the way.
Boomstick. It's a 12 gauge double barrel Stoger. This is the good old trusty double barrel 12 gauge shotgun. One of the first shotguns you get in the game, and it's just a classic. Everybody loves a good double barrel. Firing. Again, one of the coolest features of these double barrel shotguns, the double trigger. So you can take 2 rounds of 12 gauge and liquefy somebody in one shot. I'm a simple man at the end of the day. Big recoil, make me giggle. On to rifles. Now on to rifles, we have...
Pour ceux qui ont jamais essayé ça, un 12 double baril, quand tu tires les deux clenches, c'est une bonne surprise la première fois, maintenant.
Have what is called in the game the Lancaster rifle. Now I assume that is just a trademark issue or something like that, because in real life it is a Winchester, not a Lancaster. It's a Winchester model 1866, and this is pretty overpowered in the game, frankly.
Puis si vous en avez jamais tiré, personnellement, c'est un de mes guns favoris. Les guns à levier, là, petit côté petit gars en dedans de moi, que aussitôt que t'as un levier, je me mets à avoir trop de fun pour la ligue.
Because I think it holds like 14 rounds. Doesn't hold that many in real life, but well, when you're used to shooting black powder muskets, this is a fucking machine gun.
Je me souviens même pas si c'est smoothbore ou bien si c'est rifle. Probablement parce que c'est dans la catégorie des rifles. Ils auraient peut-être pas mis la... Il est assez anal pour ça, mais peut-être pas. Je me souviens plus si c'était le modèle-là, c'était des smoothbore ou bien c'était il y avait du rifling.
And my hat likes to collect the brass. It's okay, girl. We'll get to you in a moment. All right, next up is actually a little bit more of an obscure one, but it's really cool they added it to the game. The Krag Jorgensen. Or as it's called in the game, the Springfield Rifle, as evidenced by the Springfield Armory, back when that was the real Springfield Armory. Loading this one is pretty cool. Just have this loading gate here on the side. Take our 30-40 Krag ammo. Just dump the rounds in. This is a really cool time for weapon design because you found like 80 different ways to do the same thing. And there was really no like right way to do it. Like now everything's pretty much just like an AK, AR-15 or AR-18 derivative. But back then, it was just, pardon the pun, the fucking Wild West. Okay. Recoil on that really is not bad. I know these are cowboy loads, so they're a little underloaded. Cowboy loads are usually preferred for older guns like this, so you're not running modern power, you know, modern loads out of them. Still slaps with a good bit of energy. It's cool. Next. All right, now this one is the big...
Il faut quand même savoir que ce que les autres se servaient comme poudre dans le temps, c'est loin d'à côté ce qu'on a à cette heure en frais de qualité d'explosif. C'est plus de la poudre noire pure. On mélange ça avec d'autres types d'explosifs pour créer une meilleure explosion, de quoi de plus fiable, de plus constant, qui brûle plus rapidement. Parce que la poudre noire, surprenamment, ça brûle pas si vite que ça pour un combustible. Fait que, ouais, pas rouler de la balle moderne dans un vieux gun, c'est un pas pire plan.
Big boy. This right here is the Remington rolling block. Now in the games, this usually has a very long, skinny scope on top of it, but this one, we're just kind of raw dogging it with iron sights. I think that'll be fine for 20 yards. This actually looks like an original, at least the frame is. So you pull the hammer back there, and then you lowered that, I guess a load gate or whatever that is, and then you see the chamber, and you just manually load the rounds into the chamber one at a time, flip that back up, and then fire by pulling the trigger. And this gun is chambered in 4570. Big boy. If you guys couldn't tell by now, I am still fighting a little bit of sickness, the changing of the weather.
Puis, Comme il disait tantôt, c'était à une époque du développement des armes à feu, genre que tout le monde faisait ça un peu à sa manière parce que tu peux pas copier le voisin à cause des patents pis tout, avant qu'ils deviennent publics. Fait que tu sais, genre les méthodes de loader, comment tu faisais ton backplay, comment tu faisais tes mags, comment tu sais, c'était dans le fond, c'était approprié à toi, genre. Fait que fallait que les autres trouvent une autre manière de fonctionner. Puis il était pas plus mauvaise nécessairement qu'un autre. Fait que tu sais, il est en train de montrer tantôt la gate par laquelle il loadait un gun sur le côté, genre. Pas de spring, tout se fait à gravité, super simple, super fiable, genre. Fonctionne très bien. Pourquoi on s'occupe de ça? Parce qu'aujourd'hui, c'est plus standardisé, genre avec les plateformes de R15 ou bien de AK, comme sont comme les deux plateformes les plus populaires sur la planète présentement. Là. Mais à cette époque-là, tu sais, le gars qui est en train de montrer, tu loadais ça par une petite gate en one shot, genre c'est même pas. Tu trouves même pas une chambre avec des. C'est ça, tu trouves même pas une chambre en tant que telle, c'est vraiment juste en arrière. Là, ça me fait penser un peu au Cerbou .50. Que tu dévisses carrément un cap en arrière, genre c'est un single load .50.
I swear, nothing serious, just a cough.
You got tuberculosis.
Recoil's really not bad. Probably that fucking 18-pound barrel up front. Like seriously, look at how thick this is. Look at, especially on the muzzle, you can see how unnecessarily thick this is. That fucking piece of billet octagonal steel.
C'était fait tough, mettons.
It's smoky. Next up is another scoped gun that we're just using with iron sights because I don't have a scope for this, sorry. The Carcano, chambered in, get this, 6.5 Carcano. This was used primarily by the Italian military and one American Marine. We take this stripper clip here, feed it in like so, and it locks in to the gun, and now we're chambered and ready to fire. What beautiful convertible weather. Putting Lyndon B. Johnson in office in 3, 2, 1. That is loud because of that short barrel.
Je pense que c'est des Harvey Oswald qui s'est servi de cette gun-là. Pour assassiner Kennedy.
Yeah. I could be in the CIA. Moving on. Next up, we got another big heavy hitter. This is the Springfield trapdoor rifle. From the outside, it looks like just a typical muscle.
Avec les références qu'il fait, ça me le confirme. C'est le gun. C'est le même gun qui a été utilisé dans l'assassinat de JFK. Ouais, exact. Ce qui est quand même pas. C'est un curse gun à ce temps. Tu peux pas avoir ça sans avoir l'air louche. C'est le gun que les Harvey Oswald a tué. C'est servi pour tuer JFK.
But it's actually really cool because when we pull the hammer back, it actually reveals the trapdoor. Imagine that. But this sucker is actually chambered in 4570. So another big boy. This one is rated for modern ammunition. So this one is going to have some stout recoil. Firing in 3, 2. Pulled a sneaky on you. I'm actually surprised the recoil is really not that bad.
Encore une fois, ça doit peser une tonne comparé au gun moderne. Même s'il est raté pour des munitions modernes.
So, pretty sure. Just sheared that. Third round in. It's a $1,600 gun. Thanks, you birdie. Super cool. Now, lastly, for rifles, what if we took the fire rate of the lever action Lancaster, mixed it with the fire power of the 4570, like the rolling block? Well, we'd get a 4570 lever action like we've got here. This one is actually a Henry 4570, and I've been looking for an excuse to use this for a long time. Certain guns you just hold and you know you're going to lose honor for what you're about to do next.
$45,70, c'est pas de la petite douille.
And we are right back to business. Smells like carcinogens. Now, as a little added bonus, I'm actually curious about this myself. 4570 versus modern body armor. This is an RMA armament level 4 plate. So this is the serious heavy duty stuff. Level 4 ammo is rated to block 30-06 armor piercing. But the question is, will it block the just absolute dick hammer of 4570? My guess is yes. I don't think this is rated for 4570. I think it'll block one hit, but we'll see. 4570. Because sometimes the Pinkertons are wearing armor. Firing. You hear that?
Je pense pas que ça passe à travers.
Yeah, that stopped it no problem. Wow. Holy shit. That just straight up bounced off the plate.
Oh, we heard it.
Oh, I heard it too. All right, this isn't even a bit. I have never seen a plate stop a bullet that well. Holy fuck. Level 4 don't play around. We'll give it another round, but holy shit, dude. Get in there. Be good. And firing. There we go. That one got it a little. So that one actually broke into the plate itself. Had a little bit of expansion on the backside, but holy shit.
How?
Color me fucking impressed. So you have this harder shell on the outside and then the actual ceramics on the inside. But the 4570, the second round, got stuck inside. Shattered all the ceramic in there. But holy shit, I am actually impressed. Still.
Shout out pour la précision. Pareil, il est avec un vieux gun de cowboy puis il a réussi à snapper 2 balles dans l'arrière de l'autre.
Wouldn't feel very fucking good, but you'd be alive. Now for the grand finale, the moment you've all been waiting for, we have the Gatling.
Oh, yes.
Not really. This is a Maxim gun. But for whatever reason in Red Dead, they referred to it as a Gatling several times. I think they only called it by its real name like maybe once. But this is a Gatling gun. This is what they call the Gatling gun. Maybe it was just the terminology of the time, or maybe Rockstar just didn't give a fuck. But either way, this is the Maxim machine gun. One of my favorite machine guns just because it's super cool. The history of this is awesome. One of the first machine guns ever really built. I think it was designed and built in 1883, which is kind of crazy. People were still commonly using black powder, and then this motherfucker just rolls up with a belt-fed machine gun.
1883, je sais pas si vous réalisez, genre, comme il est en train de dire, il y a encore du monde qui ont des mosquettes dans les mains, qui loadent à la poudre noire, une balle à la fois, puis toi tu te pointes avec une belt fed. No fair. No fucking fair.
Now, unfortunately, because of YouTube's stupid new guidelines, we can't show fully automatic fire on YouTube recreationally. They age restrict it, demonetize it, and basically nobody's ever going to see the video because we put a machine gun in here, even though we're legally licensed dealers and we have all the paperwork for it. We're breaking no laws. But what we can do, according to YouTube's own rules, is shoot machine guns as characters in a shitty skit.
Arthur, the Pinkertons are here. I need you to man that Gatling gun.
YouTube nous laisse pas, esti. YouTube nous laisse pas vous montrer tirer un gun en full automatique, mais on a le droit de tirer un gun en full automatique en étant un personnage dans un skit de merde. Il demande à son chum de faire genre une ligne pour envoyer la sauce.
Holy shit, you're Mexican?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, those are the guns of the game Red Dead Redemption 2. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit of a change of pace from what we normally do, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's cool getting an opportunity to show off a bunch of guns that, you know, maybe on their own wouldn't make for a very interesting video, but put all together, I think it's really cool. A lot of historic stuff, and a couple guns maybe you guys weren't really familiar with. Back to the normal content next week, but we appreciate you guys being here to the end of the video, and as always, and we'll see you sexy YouTube mother lovers. In Tahiti.
Dans la description, il y a le lien pour la vidéo. Envoyez un like, un subscribe. à Brandon Herrera. Un vidéo qui est un petit peu différent de ce qu'il fait quand il parle de gun, parce que généralement, c'est vraiment un approfondi. Dans le fond, si tu regardes un de ses vidéos, tu comprends le fonctionnement, la mécanique de toute la patente. Il va vraiment dans le nitty-gritty, les règles générales. Puis là, c'était plus de quoi, dans le fond... first, il a découvert Red Dead dans les derniers temps. Fait que c'est devenu un fan de Red Dead récemment. Donc, il était pas dans la vague qui a genre overjoué dans le temps. Donc, il vient de le découvrir. Fait que ça lui a comme donné l'idée puis l'occasion en même temps de présenter des guns qu'il aurait peut-être pas nécessairement pu faire une vidéo complet sur juste le gun. Ça lui a permis, dans le fond, de rajouter ça puis de présenter des trucs quand même nice, là, un 45-70 à levier. Je pense que j'ai jamais vu ça ni sur Internet ni en vraie vie. Tu sais, de la 30-30 à levier. N'importe qui a été un peu autour de des armes à feu dans des stands de tir pendant des journées ouvertes puis tout, on a tout au moins vu une 30-30 à levier puis eu une occasion de tirer ça. Par contre, la 45-70, c'est quoi qui est plus rare, pas mal. C'est une Mark Henry d'époque, c'est quoi qui doit être quand même pas donné. Comme il dit, ça lui a donné une occasion de un petit peu la show-off, une coupe Le vieux Ruger qu'il nous a présenté, c'est une version avant la Deuxième Guerre mondiale. Fait que c'est un peu le même mécanisme que les Ruger qui se sont servis pendant la Deuxième Guerre mondiale, malgré certaines différences. Le loading par clip qui était genre zéro fucking pratique. Là. Mais ouais, ça m'a permis de apprendre personnellement un peu plus sur certaines armes à feu de cette époque-là que je connaissais moins. Je suis plus versé dans les trucs de la Deuxième, Première Guerre mondiale. Tu me perds pas mal moins. Fait que c'est ça. Brandon Herrera, le link est dans la description du vidéo. Je vous encourage à aller voir le vidéo complet sans moi qui l'arrête à tout bout de champ pour râler de la merde. Puis ça me permet de vous présenter un de ces chums qu'on a vu passer rapidement dans une vidéo. À un moment donné, je disais King Trout. King Trout, ben c'est lui. C'est ça, c'est lui. Lui, il va plus dans un autre genre de contenu. C'est plus... Il y a certaines théories du complot, il y a certaines histoires, mais il y a une manière particulière de présenter les choses. Puis il y a un certain talent de raconteur, on se le cachera pas. Et je trouve qu'il y a une belle manière de raconter l'histoire. Mon raconteur sur YouTube préféré, ça reste pour toujours Fat Electrician. Pour côté histoire, moi c'est mon préféré. Fait qu'on va embarquer dans le monde de King Trout pour la fois où ce que la CIA a fait disparaître une île de la map.
In the early 2000s, Mexican journalist Guillermo Marin stepped forward with a bold claim. The CIA had attacked a sovereign piece of Mexican territory, and had done so severely that they blew it off the face of the earth. Why would they do this? What evidence did he have? Spoiler alert, not really any. But more importantly, why would they do this? I'm King Trout, and in a cruel twist of irony, my two greatest fears are commitment and dying alone. And heights, but that's neither here nor there. Join me today as we discuss the mysterious disappearance of the Mexican island of Bermeja. Our story begins all the way back in 1539 with the earliest known mention of the island of Bermeja. It was discovered by some Spanish explorer. No one knows who, which I find kind of odd, but regardless, that's when it first began to appear on maps. It was described as a small reddish-brown island. The Spanish word Bermeja means reddish-brown, or russet, which is this color. Ugh. But remember that color. It will come up again later. Spanish explorers began including it on their maps during the Age of Exploration, where it appeared approximately 60 miles north of the Yucatan Peninsula. What is that in kilometers? Don't know, don't care. It continued to be included on maps, leading to its credibility as a legitimate landmass, despite the fact that there were very few first-hand accounts of its existence. One to skip a few, 304 years later, in 1844, doubts about Bermeja's existence began to arise. British cartographer John Arrowsmith excluded it from his maps because he believed it was either a phantom island or one of those stupid Spaniards had made a mistake. Spain and England have had kind of an on-again, off-again situationship, as the kids would say, over the course of history.
Parce que c'était quand même payant de découvrir une île. ça te donnait un certain niveau de fame à cette époque-là. Fait qu'il y a eu une couple d'îles qui sont apparues sur des maps qui ont jamais existé. Puis encore aujourd'hui, genre, les compagnies de cartes puis les cartographes vont genre mettre des affaires par rapport sur une map, genre juste pour pouvoir prouver que si c'était la copie, c'était bien leur map à eux autres. Fait qu'ils font exprès de mettre des erreurs dans le fond, dans la map, juste pour être sûr de ne pas se faire copier. Ça peut partir de là aussi.
But during this time, they were on again because they had just come together to do war with the country everyone in the world loves to hate, France.
You're not a child, you're a man. So stop wearing so many layers to go.
Je paye pas mon abonnement sur Internet pour YouTube.
But that has nothing to do with this story. Through the late 1800s, ships navigating the Gulf of Mexico reported no sightings of the island where it was supposed to exist, which fueled the debate between sailors and cartographers as to whether or not Bermeja even existed. Bing bong, fast forward a couple more decades to the 1940s, when cartography became even more advanced, primarily because this guy wanted half of Poland. Due to these advancements in cartography, the island began to appear on fewer and fewer maps, and the belief that it was a phantom island began to increase. I'm not doing the thing anymore, because I say phantom island like 6 more times in this video. For the record, a phantom island is a geographical error where one time one dude made note of a piece of land existing and everybody just copied his homework instead of double-checking and confirming that it was actually there. So a fake island disappeared. Womp womp.
Did you say want want?
Bottom line is very clear.
You?
When you
How
cross
absolutely
the border
dare you,
illegally,
sir?
Who cares? Not really anybody. Until 1988, when my favorite global organization came along, the UN. In 1988, the UN adopted the Convention on the
Il n'y avait aucun sarcasme là-dedans. Mon détecteur à sarcasme est à 0.
Law of the Sea in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go? We'll get there fast, and then we'll adopt international conventions on the legality of mineral and fishing rights of the world's oceans. Yes, this convention established the rights to nations' territorial waters, as well as exclusive economic zones, or EEZs. Not to be confused with Eazy-E, who was a famous rapper from Compton who died of AIDS. EEZs allow for the exclusive economic control of the waters surrounding a nation's country. A nation. Surrounding a nation would be the easier way of saying that. I don't know why I'm struggling to say EEZ as opposed to exclusive economic zone. For some reason I find that easier to say. I think it's because I want to say Eazy-E, the rapper who died of AIDS. They determined that a nation's EEZ would extend 200 nautical miles out from their coastline, including islands.
Le pourquoi la putain d'île devient importante, puis c'est pour ça qu'il la cherche. Ah.
Can you see where this is going?
Attends, t'es en train de me dire que parce qu'il y aura une île qui est au large du Mexique, ça lui permet d'étendre le zone économique, les droits de pêche puis de forage de pétrole sur plus large. C'est ça que t'es en train de me dire?
Can you? Hein? Talking about an island?
Ouais.
Okay. So the convention went into force in November of 1994 after it received the necessary ratifications. As such, the Gulf of Mexico was divided amongst the nations bordering it, 200 nautical miles out from their shores. Now, in between the exclusive economic zones of Mexico and the United States of America, there existed a so-called donut hole, where neither of the borders reached fully to meet each other. Now, why is this?
Le pire, c'est que je pense que c'est le terme technique. Trou de bain. Donut hole. Why not?
Donut hole noteworthy? It's because it's bleeding oil, baby. Black gold. In 1997, America approached Mexico and was like, "Hola, y'all. Want to go 50-50 and double team that oiled up donut hole?" And then all of a sudden, and for no particular reason, I'm sure, Mexico remembered Bermeja. Since
C'est chiant ça, mon stat. C'est chiant.
The EEZs extend out from all coastline, including islands. If they could prove that the island of Bermeja existed, then they would have that oily hole all to themselves. So the search was on. Mexico sent out their Navy and some university survey teams into the area with advanced sonar and satellite technology to find the island. And finally, one day, they gave up because they didn't find anything.
Tout ça pour fuck out. Nice job, Mexico. Nice job.
But this prompted two questions. One, was Bermeja real? And two, if it was real, where the hell did it go? The year is now 2000, and the US is thirsty for oil. But they have a plan. No, not that yet. They were going to meet up with the Mexican government and arrange, some sort of deal where both of us could use the donut hole. They were going to meet up and sign a treaty expressly breaking up how that area could be used, since nobody technically owned it, and the only two nations that could, in theory, even get there legally were the United States and Mexico, since both of us owned all of the ocean around it. So in 2000, the Mexican government, despite many critics to the agreement, including Guillermo Marin, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, met with the United States and signed the treaty. The Treaty of the Delimitation of the Continental Shelf remains in place to this day. Now, like I just said, there were many critics in Mexico to this agreement because they felt they were getting the short end of the stick. If they could just prove Bermeja existed, then they owned almost all of that sweet, sweet donut hole. Which, seriously, why? I get why you would call it that because it's like a cute nickname, but give it a technical name. I'm talking about a very resource-rich part of the ocean that two nations are, signing treaties over. Or are we going to call it a silly snack name? I don't know, whatever, I guess. Regardless, in 2008, yet another Mexican expedition was sent out to find the island. And they could not further confirm it.
Encore? C'est quoi la troisième fois qu'elle cherche cette idée?
Its lack of existence. But, insert fart noise here, I literally only have 3 jokes. I don't know why you guys keep watching these videos. This led to theories concerning the absence of the island. These theories range all the way from the batshit crazy to the, I don't know, maybe. Let's break them down, starting with the batshit crazy. First theory. Some people believe the absence of the island of Bermeja can be explained quite simply. We've slipped into an alternate dimension. Yep. Good old Mandela effect. We've slipped into a different dimension where Berenstain Bears Island doesn't exist, but it did in the old dimension. Which, whatever, sure, okay. It couldn't have been a whole continent that disappeared, just some random-ass tiny island that a drunken, probably syphilitic Spaniard found 500 years ago. Sure.
Je sais pas ce que t'en penses, mais moi, pas ma préférée. Pas ma théorie préférée. On va écouter la prochaine.
Yeah, that's probably definitely what happened. Please take your medication. Your family is very worried about you.
Hey, you said it. I didn't.
Theory dose. The CIA destroyed the island to extend American influence into Mexico's exclusive economic zone because of the oil. Now this one, slightly less crazy perhaps. I don't trust the CIA. That should be evidently clear from all of the videos that I've made talking about all the crazy shit they've done since they've been around. Look, you can watch one here or there or wherever. Once I'm done. Watch it once I'm done. Does the incentive exist? Absolutely. There's nothing America loves more than some crude oil, baby. A lot of places have found that out the hard way. But did the capability to destroy an entire island exist? Well, depending on the size of the island, yeah. Do I believe this to have been the case? Probably not, honestly. I mean, there's a couple reasons. First of which being that the evidence the island didn't exist started showing up 100 years before America had the capability to destroy an island at a time when we were actively at war with Mexico, so we could have just taken it if we wanted it. Which, I mean, if you ask James K. Polk, who was president at the time, he definitely would have taken it. He wanted the Yucatan Peninsula, too. Jamie, pull up that map of all the territory that James K. Polk wanted. It's my hand on the... It is. I don't have a Jamie. I'm my own Jamie. And the second reason being that the discussion as to who would have the territorial claims to these waters as decided by the UN didn't even come up till 1973 before they were decided in 1982. So if the CIA was going to make that baller move, they would have had to have done it in the 70s or 80s, aka in the middle of the Cold War. The reason I bring that up is because here is where Bermeja supposedly existed. And that right there is Cuba. Cuba, very close ally to the Soviet Union. Closer to the supposed location of Bermeja than the United States of America.
Et qui est une place que t'as pas le goût de dropper une bombe nucléaire à côté parce que sinon ça risque de faire chier les Russes parce que c'est pas loin de Cuba.
If the US had decided to drop a bomb large enough to destroy an entire island next to one of our greatest enemies in the world under the threat of nuclear annihilation, I'm not sure how that would have gone over. Another theory is that an earthquake or continental shift caused the island to be pulled into the sea like a Mexican Atlantis. Which, maybe, but if so, it would have had to have happened sometime between the 1550s when old Senor Nobody Knows Who claims to have discovered the island and the 1840s when Johnny Aerosmith called him on his bluff. And that is totally possible, it definitely could have happened. But there is very little to no seismic activity in the Gulf of Mexico, to the point where seismography isn't even studied in the Gulf of Mexico, or seismology, one of the two of those. I don't care, I'm not looking it up. And trust me, if it was a concern, they would definitely be looking into the study of the tectonic movements of the Gulf of Mexico. Because remember, it's full of oil. It's full of oil, that's why they're even trying to prove the place exists.
C'est pour déjà avoir édité mes vidéos un peu là. Tout ce que tu fais, c'est genre rire de ta propre gueule tout le long que tu fais ça, c'est genre le procédé de se regarder, genre si t'es pas en train de te payer ta propre gueule, c'est genre presque tannant. En tout cas, moi j'aime pas me regarder. En général, là, quand je regarde ça dégagé pendant que je fais du montage correct, je suis capable de m'endurer, mais juste de me regarder de moi, j'ai de la misère en salle. Dis le gars qui se voit dans genre 2 écrans.
The oil, remember? Come on. Theory 4. Global warming.
Global wobble?
Yeah. This theory states that rising sea levels have since placed the surface of the island underwater. And sea levels have risen since the 1500s. That's scientific fact. They've risen nearly 1.5 feet. If this was the case, at most, the island is less than 1.5 feet under the surface of the water. And not only would they have detected it with their advanced sonar equipment, they would have smashed the hull of their boats into it, because at most, it's 1.5 feet under the surface of the water. Theory 5. Mapsy oopsie poopsie. Maps in the 1500s weren't exactly known for their accuracy. I mean, get a load of that. Not saying I could do that. Even if I lived in the 1500s, I couldn't do it now, probably, but it doesn't matter. The guy who drew that map's been dead for 460 years. So I can make fun of him. If you happen to be watching this in the year 2485, by all means, make fun of me. I can assure you, I don't care. Plus, there are hundreds of those phantom islands over the course of history. Sometimes they were an optical illusion, sometimes they were a cartographer's error, or sometimes they would just make shit up. So during this time, maps were more precious than gold, and countries held on to their maps in the same way that modern countries hold on to their nuclear launch codes. So one of the tricks that cartographers would use to see if
La démarcation dans le coup, là. C'était pas tout seul qui a à voir. Comment tu fais pour être plus pâle du haut du cou que du bas du cou? Je suis rouge, je suis blanc de base, là. J'ai des lumières vertes d'en face, fait que je suis vert. Là, je peux changer de couleur, là. Parce que je suis bleu. Je suis un schtroumpf. Je peux être fâché. Je suis fâché. Pour ça, je suis vert. Je vais être mauve. Fait que c'est ça. Mais. Je sais pas si c'est à cause d'une lumière qui est placée vraiment dans sa face ou bien genre qui se met du make-up pour faire. Il y a vraiment genre putain de démarcation dans le coup.
If there was a leak or if somebody was copying their maps, is they would make shit up and put it on their map, and then if somebody else showed up with a map that had the shit they made up, they would go, ha, gotcha. Modern day map companies actually still do this with land maps, these so-called paper towns. They just make things up to make sure that people aren't copying their work. For the record, the director of the Mexican Cartographer Society believes this to be the case. He stands to gain a lot more from the existence of Bermeja than I do. Plus, he actually knows what he's talking about. But you want to hear my theory? Of course you do. Remember earlier when I told you to remember that repulsive brown color? This is the part where that is the now that I wanted you to remember it for. Now, I have seen basically nothing in my research that has stated my theory, so I'm basically pulling it out of my ass. But hear me out. So, the guys who discovered Bermeja named it Bermeja because that's the Spanish word for the ruddy, brownish-reddish color that they said the island was. This color. That being said, in the ocean there's a species of animal you may have heard of called coral.
Carl!
And yes, coral is an animal, it's not a plant. You should have stayed awake in 4th grade science class, idiot. On occasion, coral will do something called a coral spawn. And that's when the coral will release all of its eggs and sperm, and they'll float to the surface of the water, and it looks like this. A reddish-brown island-shaped splotch on the surface of the water. And while the Mexican government has never been able to find an island where Bermeja supposedly existed, you know what does exist there? A fucking coral reef. Now, do I have any evidence that this was the case? Obviously not. Of course not. Don't be silly. But they did supposedly find an island that no one has ever seen since in a location that we know a coral reef exists on. And they named the island they supposedly saw specifically after the color of a coral spawn directly over a coral reef. I'm pretty sure they saw a big old floating island of coral. Excuse me.
Ça montre à quel point, genre, que quand la politique est en quelque chose, genre, le résultat est juste de trouver ce qu'ils veulent trouver. C'est ça ou rien. Pas la réponse, ils veulent juste la réponse qu'ils veulent.
But that's just a theory. A Trout theory. I am of the opinion that it's definitely more likely than all the other bull we were talking about. And why am I, an internet shit poster, the first person to come up with this fucking theory? Like, we're literally talking about disputes in international waters. Why am I the one fucking doing the research for you, Mexico? I mean, technically that would be for America, because Mexico wants the island to exist, but I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. Maybe 15 years from now, the CIA will come out and be like, yeah, no, we totally nuked that back in 54. That wouldn't surprise me. Nothing surprises me anymore. I don't know. Whatever. But anyways, I've been King Trout, and as always, thank you for watching. King Trout, what happened to part 2 of the Halloween video?
It's a sensitive subject, and I don't want to talk about it.
What I do want to talk about is how I'm going to be changing up the style of content I make a little bit. Going to be mixing something else in that I think you'll like, because a lot of you have asked for it after I suggested maybe I do it one time. There's a little hintski for.
Fait que bref, sa théorie sur pourquoi un île aurait disparu. J'adore sa manière de raconter la patente, puis son humour noir, on va se dire, c'est de l'humour noir. Faut que t'aimes le genre un peu. Ouais, on va finir ça. Je pense que ça va même finir ma soirée avec une réaction à une vidéo de Mr. Wobble qui s'appelle A Ustreamer React to My Music in Rust. Connais Mr. Wobble à cause du beatbox. Premièrement. Puis après ça, j'ai découvert qu'il y avait son channel de musique. C'était un multi-instrumentiste, puis qu'il y avait du fun sur le gars. Fait que j'ai hâte de voir ce que ça va donner en stream comme ça, voir comment ça va rendre la patente. Puis on va voir à quel point l'algorithme de YouTube. Même.
It's okay, guys. It's okay.
What the? Is that me?
This should be our music.
Iron Mouse. She just sits there and goes.
What the fuck? Le niveau de talent, man. Le gars qui pogne son rue pis je te fais un beat. Easy.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi! You might be wondering, how the hell were you just playing music for Iron Mouse, the true queen? And the answer is simple. I spent around 10 days singing and performing for some of the biggest content creators on the internet because I joined Rust Kingdoms 2. That brought together some of the biggest people on the internet for 10 days to play one of my favorite games, Rust. But like I like to say, let's get right into those clips.
Ça promet. Ça promet.
Well, maybe I was supposed to turn.
Dicks how big my girlfriend fucked my friend.
Moist critical.
Hello, hi, I'm on 2019.
Penguin en personne.
I think I was supposed to turn.
This was one of my favorite hymns.
To get high, I have Soylent and wine. I respect girls by getting friend zoned and denied.
Seem to hit something.
I'm a 2019 guy. I think science is a lie. I am offended online. 2019. 2019.
Down with science.
Down with science, up with my dick's not big, my girlfriend fucked my friend. You say I'm down on luck, I say it's a win-win. 'Cause I'm a cock, I hope he fucks a good. In a way that I wish
Hello? Hello down there.
Game over.
That was my favorite hymn.
Amen. The gospel.
It's made by a man.
That was
Man,
so
we stole this.
fuck good. Holy. I just beat the original.
Before we get into some more reactions from huge content creators on Rust, I'd like to tell you about today's sponsor, Raycon. And since Black Friday is coming up, they're going to be off.
What's happening over there?
Everybody join together on this spot. Get as close as possible to one another.
Guys, just come on, we're getting Christians.
Blood God! I call on to you. Wash these sinners of their previous life. Take them into your supple bosom. Allow them to drink on your long teeth filled with blood and let them suck until they become fat and can suckle no more.
The blood god.
Everyone get out into the church. Get in line and get on the team. Join the church.
Pour mes clips là. Ils me disent pas ça.
Come for the blood god, come for the blood god. I'm gonna come for the blood god, come for the blood god. I'm gonna come for the blood god, come for the blood god. I'm gonna come for the blood god, come for the blood god. I'm gonna come for the blood god, come for the.
It's
oh shit!
Hello.
Kaisana, do you wanna praise the blood god?
What?
Put your hands up to the air with me. Put your hands up to the air and say, praise be. Oh.
Wait, fast. Let's go. I'll protect you. Let's go.
King Kaisana, King. It's King Kaisana, King. It's King Kaisana.
C'est comme son speaker portable. Si les gars se promènent dans le jeu, man, t'as Mr. Wobble like fuck all, c'est le dos qui se promène, qui entertain tout le monde. C'est chat for the land.
Kaisana, King. It's King 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 Kaisana, King. It's King. It's Kaisana. We've gotta protect 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 King. It's Kaisana.
What the fuck is going on?
We must protect him, yes we should. It's King Kaisana, King. We must protect him, yes we should.
Let's go.
Let's go. Come on, get in. Do we have? Get in.
Do we have a logger? We got logger or not?
King Kaisana will die.
Oh my, who the fuck is that nigga, man?
You saying he's gonna die? Kill him. Kill that guy.
Oh no, he doesn't like the music.
He also said guy was gonna die, bro.
Watch out.
You can't have that.
Hi, Wobble.
Oups, t'es fait avoir par un gars qui chante.
The guy that's been singing a bunch, but today I'm gonna do some actual covers of stuff. So, here's a song I like doing.
This is my boy right here.
Let's
this
go.
is my fucking boy right here.
Oh, he's doing it for real.
Vous êtes pas prêts?
This is so much fun.
Just one more tear to cry. One tear.
How much talent can there possibly be?
Oh my god, I love this song. Wow.
Is he playing this right? It sounds like he's playing this like live.
Oh my god. Middle of the night. Damn. When things aren't black and white.
But it sounds like he's playing it live. He is playing it? Dang, that's impressive.
What?
This is so cool.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Confort dans le bois. Vous voyez, même dans les jeux les plus fucked up, les plus violents, toujours le temps pour une petite toune. Ça doit tellement genre se finir par une balle dans la tête, cette histoire-là encore.
this song has started now.
Yes, I love this song so much.
Now isn't that
This feels like I'm really at a concert.
a major sacrifice for clothes at the time? And to keep alive, just trust me, you'll be fine.
He's playing his guitar live, yep.
We have music.
And when I'm back in Chicago, I'm feeling another version of me. I was in it. I waved goodbye to the end of beginning.
This is so good.
And when I'm back in Chicago, I'm feeling another version of me. I was in it. I waved goodbye.
Ça m'arrive jamais quand je tomber sur un concert en plein milieu d'une game. Lui ou bien genre Call of Duty DJ. Si un jour j'ai le malheur de tomber sur ce gars-là, je vais tellement me tordre de rire.
Okay.
Yo, sign this guy!
Sign this guy.
Can I play one more?
Yes, please.
Ah, il prend les rappels en plus.
Forever if you want.
Dude, I'm actually crying.
Okay, this is a song I wrote with my friend Marcus
Such a cool
Veltri.
full circle moment, man.
It's called Stick Around.
It's like,
kinda
you know,
sad,
we
so
started
I'm
doing
sorry,
this 4
but
fucking
times you
years
gotta be
ago.
sad. And my
And like
voice is-
Wobbles in particular was a guy that
and my
like
voice is really fucked up, but
we
we'll
got
do
him unbanned.
And I'm standing up.
You
so-
know, the second time we did this, and now it's like, how many times have we done this?
You got this, Wobbly man.
And Wobbles is killing it. Everybody's just having fun.
Oh my god, I didn't know he was so damn talented.
I wanna give in. Spin the bottle with me, my friend. We're here again. Edge of the road, we reach the end.
Cheers, King.
And I don't really wanna leave, no. My hand will not concede. Although I allow myself a little room to breathe.
I'm just really proud of him
You were the
and us.
reason I burned it to the ground. We were the people I thought would stick around. Stick around.
Ouais. C'est parfait pour finir avec ça. Merci à ceux qui sont passés. Pour ceux qui regardent la vidéo, ben, si t'es rendu jusque-là, gros merci. Tous les liens pour les vidéos qu'on a écoutées aujourd'hui vont être dans la description. Et tu peux aller écouter ça quand tu veux. C'est à ta guise, mon cher. T'as le gaz. Ça a tombé avec mon rollage de merde entre les tunes. Merci aux créateurs de contenu qui sont passés avant moi qui me permettent de réagir à la vidéo. Merci à tous ceux qui passent encore une fois. Si vous laissez un like, un subscribe pour aider la chaîne, c'est toujours full apprécié. Là-dessus, je sais pas quoi dire de plus. Quel gars de talent.
Oh my god.
You were the reason. You were the reason. I burned it to the ground.
I forgot
On parlait de son beatbox. Moi, je l'avais connu à cause du beatbox.
Il juste un beatboxing. What?
Ouais, no way!
Fait que merci encore tout le monde d'être passé. C'était Phil de On s'en craque une pour une petite soirée de réaction de même sur le slide. Merci à ceux qui prennent le temps de l'écouter. Merci à ceux qui sont passés. À la prochaine, la gang. On se revoit dans un autre épisode de On s'en craque une dans les prochains jours.